Today's date is 9/3/20. Adding integers. So what did you guys tell me? Integers are what and what whole numbers? They're what type of whole numbers? Positive or? Good. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk about if we're adding integers and they have the same signs. Does everyone see that? Yeah. So what do I mean by same signs? If you were to look at these problems on the first half of the paper, what do I mean by same signs? How do I know that the signs are the same? Molly? Excellent. So if you guys see two positives, they're the same. Both are negatives, they are the same. Is that understood? Okay. So let's start with this example. I have -6 plus a -3. You always start on the -6, so put a dot on -6. That's our starting point. Your first number is always your starting point. Then I want to add. When I add, typically what direction do I go on the number line? To the right, right? But I'm adding a negative. So what do you think that means? What direction am I going to go? Left. So if I'm adding a negative, I'm reversing it. I'm not going to the right, I'm going to the left. So that means I'm going to add 3, which means I ended up on what number? Okay, let's do the next one. Just put 8 in the middle, because that's where we're going to plot a point. And then what did you guys tell me already? If we're adding, we go what direction? And I'm adding a positive. Am I still going to go right? So go 5 to the right. Where did I end up? So 8 plus 5 is 13, which hopefully we already knew, right guys? Okay, so what do you notice about those two problems there? Because I don't want to always have to draw a number line, right guys? I want to be able to do this without a number line, do it in my head, all of that sort of stuff. So what do you notice about if my signs are the same? They're either both positive or they're both negative. What operation am I doing to get my answer? Luke? Okay, but what am I actually doing? What's the only operation I'm doing here? Whether I have signs that are the same or that are both negative or whether they are both positive, what am I doing to both problems? Because what's 6 plus 3? What's 8 plus 5? So when my signs are the same, we are just going to do what operation? You are going to add. So right here, I have a -4 plus a -5. Are my signs the same? So you're just doing 4 plus 5. That's it. What's 4 plus 5? Now question, is this 9 going to be a positive 9 or a negative 9? Why? If they're both negatives, I need to keep them a negative, right? So -9 is my answer. So here's my phrase that I like to tell students. We'll write it right here. Same sign. So if you see integers that are the same sign and you're adding, you are going to same sign, add, and keep. So you're going to add the two numbers and you are going to keep the sign. Whether that sign's positive or whether that sign's negative, you are keeping the sign. So what about this one? What am I going to do to -2 plus -4? And what's 2 plus 4? Is it a positive 6 or a -6? It's a -6. Okay, do numbers 1 through 4 for me, please. Okay? Number 1, everyone, what is number 1? Negative 15, excellent. Number 2, what is it? Number 3. Number 4. So when we add integers with the sign the same, you are finding the sum, meaning that's why we add, because you are finding the sum, and you are keeping the sign of the numbers. Same sign, add and keep. Any questions on same signs? Okay, let's go to different signs, because they're not always going to be the same, right, guys? So let's start on the number 3, which they obviously didn't give us for some strange reason. So I'm going to add more lines in and add 3. I'm going to put a dot on 3, because we always start with a dot on 3. And then what did we talk about, you guys? We are adding a negative. When I add a negative, do I go to the right on the number line or the left on the number line? So move 11 to the left. Where did we end up, everyone? So 3 plus a negative 11 is a negative 8. Okay, let's do the one right below it. Just put negative 9 right there. I'm adding 4. If I'm adding 4, do I go to the left or the right? So go to the right 4. What number did we land on, everyone? What was it, everyone? -5. So negative 9 plus 4 is a negative 5. Lelia. Excellent. So if you look closer at this, guys, you will see that 11 minus 3 is what? 8. And 9 minus 4 is? So when we are, down below here, adding integers with different signs, we do what operation? Add integers with different signs. We're doing what operation? We're subtracting. So when your signs are the same, you add and keep. When your signs are different, you subtract. That's you guys know the song like row, row, row your boat? Okay, so it's like same signs, add and keep, different signs, subtract. Keep the sign of the larger number, your sum will be exact. Okay, that's just a little song. So, right down here it says adding integers with different signs by subtracting, and keep the sign of the number with the greatest absolute value, meaning you're keeping the sign of the larger number. So what number is larger, 3 or 11? So that's why it's negative. Does that make sense? If we look here, what number is larger, 9 or 4? That's why my answer is negative. Is that understood? So if we go here, are my signs the same or are they different? What? They're different. And if they're different, what operation do we do? So we're doing 10 minus 6. And 10 minus 6 is? So is it going to be a positive 4 or a negative 4? Why is it a negative? Because 10 is bigger and 10 is negative, so my answer has to be negative. Okay, what about this one? Are my signs the same or are they different? What are they? So what operation do I do? I always, guys, do bigger minus smaller. Don't make your life harder. Bigger minus smaller. What's 7 minus 5? And then is it a positive 2 or a negative 2? Why is it a negative? Because the 7 is bigger, 7 is negative, so your answer is a negative. Answer those bottom 4 questions for me, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Answer to number 5. What's 8 plus negative 9, everyone? Negative 1. What's negative 7 plus 13? Why is it positive? Excellent. 4 plus negative 8? And negative 9 plus 13. So, any questions? Integers is all about practicing, guys. And the more you practice, the more you get used to it, the easier it gets. Does that make sense? Okay, so if you can keep repeating in your head, same sign, add and keep, different sign, subtract, you should be good. And then you just got to remember, keep the sign of the larger number. That's all you have to memorize with adding integers. Questions?